Welcome home, doomed pilgrims. I'm Ash, this is Ash Quest, and today we are looking at Doom Pilgrim Pocket, a tiny, portable, mint tin-sized edition of Doom Pilgrim from WarClaw Games. Doom Pilgrim Pocket is a single-player game for ages 18+, and playtime takes between 5 and 45 minutes. That's because this is a truly doomed journey. Inside this mint tin are 90 cards, and only cards, as Doom Pilgrim is a solitaire game with minimal setup and minimal maintenance. The rules for the full version of the game and Doom Pilgrim Pocket are the exact same. To undertake the destiny of a doubtful hero, take the deck picture side up. This deck represents your future. Now, choose the level of your fate's adversity. Son of Bane is the most difficult. You will use all 90 cards. This is a very hard journey. The Damned one uses 60 cards, returning 30 cards from the top back to the box. This is still a hard journey. And Poor Worm uses only 45 cards. This is considered a normal journey. Each turn, draw 3 cards, pictures up, and based on the images only, discard one of them back into the box. You've rejected this path. Based on the image alone, I will reject this path and place it back in the box. Put one of them to the bottom of the deck. Maybe you will dare go here later, but not now. I'll take this card and place it at the bottom of my deck. The remaining card is the path you've chosen. Turn the card and read what your fate brings now. Then put this card aside. This forms the Your Past deck. Cards in this deck have texts facing up so that you can recheck what has happened to you thus far, if needed. These are not to be shuffled. Be sure to use a pen and paper to write down your various gains and losses, for there will be many. Things to be written down are marked by the quill pen icon in the card text. Believe it or not, that's half of the entire rule set. Before we go to the other half, let's actually read what my choice brings, and you'll see why this is called Doom Pilgrim. What sorceries have brought you to this strange place? People are smiley and talkative, but they smile at not funny things. Sad things, well, at everything. And their talk is nonsense, sometimes just blabbering. Some don't speak at all, just limping around on inhumanly long legs. You hear laughing from afar each time a closed laugh shuts down, like during nights. Or is it in your head? You must move. You must get from here no matter how hospitable your hosts are. And if you must hurt or even kill someone on your escape, do it, for God will forgive you, as these people are God-forsaken and doomed for sure, with their children, animals, crops, and water. The water you drank last few days. Insanity +1. That's how we're starting my journey of 45 cards, and that's the perfect way to segue into the other half of the rules. A certain level of scars is tolerated, but you are doomed completely. Once you reach 5 wounds, losing a paired organ has its own category. Both eyes, legs, or hands lost, these aren't wounds. 3 diseases of any type, a leprosy, a pox, etc. in total. 3 curses, again of any type in total. 3 psychic drops of the same type. For example, when your fear reaches 3, you are too scared to go on. So when my insanity reaches 3, I'll be too insane to go on. And there are dozens of other ways to become doomed. Text on the cards will tell you. However, your next journey may be easier, as you seem to faintly remember images. As if it is not the first time your soul has writhed in this tainted soil. Maybe your soul keeps returning here, just to decay and rot over and over again. The aim of the game is to get to the very bottom of the Your Future deck, leaving no card. Once there are 3 or fewer cards left, choose one final card, the determinative encounter, and discard the others. And to make a new pilgrimage, put all the cards back into one pack and shuffle it, trying to avoid looking at the pictures. You can also set out on paths that have not been taken before by not using cards from the Your Past deck this time, and adding unplayed cards from the box, if there were any. For my second card, these gray hills are a domain of Krampuses. They have just smelled your scent. The manhunt begins. Sum up your anti-Krampus points. And this is where some of the differences between Doom Pilgrim and Doom Pilgrim Pocket come into play. Really, the only difference is Doom Pilgrim Pocket uses a lot of abbreviations to be able to fit all of the original text onto the smaller cards. BEQ means pieces of battle equipment. MAG-W is magic weapons. Of YCH means of your choice. 3+ means 3 or more. 5- means 5 or less. Those are things we could have figured out. eye and down arrow means see below. And we don't use the quill icon in Doom Pilgrim Pocket. Future means your future, past means your past. W is for wounds, B is for badges, C for curses, D for diseases. Poison means poisoned status, PSDR means psychic drops, and gold or just G is gold pieces. Pretty easy stuff. Battle equipment is +1 in terms of anti-Krampus points for this card. Magic or ranged weapon, +2. If you get the Saint badge, that's a +3. Any Saint's relic in your possession, +2. Nothing really matters because this is only the second card I've drawn. I have none of this stuff. So, the results of the combat, 3 or less, you hardly got through. Take 2 wounds, +1 dismay, and flee quickly. Here I am, with 1 insanity, 1 dismay, and 2 wounds at the very beginning of my journey. But it is a journey in which, should I perish early, I can learn from and do better on my next run, knowing that these 2 cards are ones to avoid. There are many such cards in Doom Pilgrim Pocket, although some of them are more than meets the eye. There are a lot of things that you can get in Doom Pilgrim Pocket that can help you out, including a pet dog or a horse. There are some cards that will allow you to simply retire to a vista. Some battles can be won easily, but will bring you fits of depression. And sometimes, if you don't have the right artifacts in your possession, you will simply be consumed, ending your journey regardless of the stats that you have acquired, or rather, have left. Doom Pilgrim is a dark journey into the unknown with the aim of being bleak, but making the journey a little less unknown every time you play. The imagery is kept vague and surreal, and sometimes you'll find yourself remembering an image, only to flip it around and read the card text, and realize this wasn't the image you thought you remembered. But it can be an incredible roleplay experience. All of the cards are pretty much treated as standalone pieces of quests, and how you get from one area to another, well, you can kind of determine that if the card doesn't set it up, creating a sort of record of adventure for your own character. There's no character creation of any kind. Rather, your character is developed with overturning each and every card in your journey. So if I have these 3 cards, I'm probably going to put down the scary-looking monsters. But then I think, maybe this is just to trick me. It's to make me second-guess myself. Perhaps I will encounter the monsters later. I'll put them at the bottom of my deck. And the iceberg looks so peaceful, I think I'll flip this one over, and that means I'll end up discarding completely this image of what looks to be Charon rowing across the river of the dead. Deep in the wilderness, you find a hermit in a cave. He wears just a loincloth, and his eyes shine from the face with a respectable beard. My elk left last week. My bear hasn't come here for a month, and it is a year since my dear snow monkey said goodbye to me, departing for even higher places. Now I see it clear. The time has come for me to leave too. I must bring my wisdom that sprouted in seclusion to mankind finally. With you as my fellow, the mob won't dare to lynch me. Will you accept the cheerful philosopher as your ally? Every 3 turns with him, a psychic drop of your choice is healed. But buyings in towns and villages are 1 gold higher, and sellings are 1 gold lower, as people are skeptical about your too wise party. This is an ally that I would take with me, because I have a predisposition to making sure that I am well healed during and in between turns in combat. But perhaps it is more difficult than I surmise to obtain gold pieces to spend. I don't want to spoil the text of any more of these deliciously macabre images, so I would leave the choice to you. Which one of these would you put in the deck? Which one would you overturn now, and which one would you discard? You can quickly see how you would be quite doomed even playing with a 45 card game mode, a normal difficulty. And you could kind of see how easy it would be to homebrew your own difficulty modes, and perhaps create a character creation system with homebrew. How would I go about this? Well, you could lessen the difficulty by reducing the deck down to 30 cards, or even 25 or 20. This would allow you to understand the mechanics of the game better and get used to writing down the bits and pieces of diseases and psychic drops that you gain throughout your cursed journey. And perhaps you could create your character and sacrifice some of your rules as written traits for other things, like going completely mad if your insanity reaches only 2 instead of 3 points, and allowing yourself an extra 1 or 2 wounds, bringing the total up to 6 or maybe 7. Perhaps you could allow yourself to start with a few gold pieces, but decrease the amount of wounds. Initial starting wounds rather than max wounds, saying that you had to work for those pieces of gold and now you are exhausted. And that is Doom Pilgrim Pocket, a very simple game to present, a very simple game to learn, and a true cursed journey through the world of mint tin games. If you've been eyeballing this, I can give it my personal recommendation. If you're into things that are a bit bleak, a bit gothic, I certainly am, and so this fits just fine in my collection. But beware, for you may not stay in a very cheerful mood if you decide to play several games in a row. Alright, brave heroes, please comment down below. It helps the channel so much, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a great rest of your day, not a doomed one, and bye for now.